Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Key to the Streets. It's your boy, Mike Gomes. Today, we're going over one of my favorite topics. And if y'all have been watching my videos, you know one of my favorite topics is sales. But we're not just going to go over sales. We're going to go over the difference between what selling is and what closing is. Okay, there's a difference. You might be like, yo, Mike, I don't even know that there is a difference. Yes, there is a difference. Here's a difference. Selling is essentially coming up with all the situation, right? Coming up with all the situation and giving a hypothetical solution to that, okay? That's all selling is. What closing is getting somebody to actually sign the contract. Closing is the hard part. A lot of people, they're great at pillow talking, right? Like they're great at having the conversation or great at, having the rapport and, making somebody their friend and all that stuff. But when it comes to actually closing and getting the deal signed and getting paid, that's where they have a hard time. Okay. So let's get into it. I hope that y'all had a good Thanksgiving and all your food was great and all the drinks was good and y'all had your coquito or whatever the hell you drink, right? I hope that was great. If you guys have been getting any value from the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. Okay. So to start, we're going to go over the 8-step sales process, very brief. Now, I know some of y'all, actually probably the majority of y'all already watched the 8-step sales process video because y'all were hitting me in the DMs like, dang, that was fire. That was some sauce. But if you haven't, go back, type in Mike Gomes 8-step sales process on YouTube and you'll see that page pop up because I'm not going to go into it super in depth because I already did that on another video. But you'll see why I want to go over that really quick here. Okay, so let's call this 8-step sales process. Okay, the first step being your intro and bonding. This intro and bonding, all it is just making a human connection, making somebody smile, maybe cracking a joke, making somebody know that on the other end of the phone, there's a caring human being on the opposite end. Okay. Number 2 is rapport. Rapport is figuring out the whole entire situation. Okay. This is where all the selling happens. This, and then in the fulfillment section that we'll go over in a little bit. Rapport, that you're figuring out the whole entire situation. Everything. You're figuring out why they want to sell. You're figuring out the condition of the house. You're figuring out, what they've been going through the past 3 months or whatever the case is, what their process has been like to try to sell the property up to this point, what they think is the best solution, all that type of stuff. You're figuring out the whole entire situation. Now, a lot of people will teach rapport as like walking into an appointment and seeing a freaking painting on the wall and being like, hey, I got that same painting on the wall. Ha, ha, ha. No, that ain't rapport. Okay. So actually, to that point of on-site appointments, I'll go to an on-site appointment. I'll freaking crush the intro. I'll crush the bonding. I'll get them smiling. I'll be joking and laughing before I even walk into the house. I do all this before I walk into the house. And then in the rapport bucket, I still don't walk into the house. I ask something along the lines of like, hey, tell me, what are you looking to accomplish here? Like, give me the runaround of everything you're looking to accomplish here and what's going on with the property and your situation. Okay, and they give me the whole entire thing before I even go inside the house. So that's what rapport is, okay? Now, third one is pain. Pain is getting them to feel the pain. This is very different than extracting the pain. Extracting the pain actually happens in the rapport bucket. Number 3 is getting them to feel the pain. So if they're maybe going through foreclosure, they lost their job, or whatever the case is, you're like, dang, I can't imagine. Like, you haven't had a job for the past like 2 or 3 months. Like, how have you been paying the mortgage? Oh my God, I haven't. I don't know what to do. I'm screwed. I'm about to lose the house. I don't know what my family's gonna do. And you're getting them to feel their pain themselves. Okay. Number 4. This is budget. You're going over the numbers. You're figuring out what they need for the property, but why do they need that specific number? To that point, not the actual, here's the thing. A lot of people get this confused. Not the actual number that they want to sell the property for, but the actual net number in their pocket. Like, how much cash are they going to walk away with? So what is that number and why do they need it? That's number 4. Number 5 is a decision. Decision bucket is what's justifying them making a decision, and who else is helping them make the decision. Number 6 is fulfillment. And number 6, you're wrapping up everything you went over in the call. Everything. Okay. Going over their situation, letting them understand what their pain is, going over the numbers, going over the decision makers and their decision, wrapping all that up into one thing, and then giving a hypothetical solution to the problem and asking them, would that solve their problem? And then they're like, yes, that would solve my problem. Okay, great. Notice I said a hypothetical situation, because we're not going to tell them like, hey, yeah, this is what we're going to do. Not just yet. We're going to get them freaking excited about what could potentially happen, and then pull away a little bit. Okay. 7. So after you do that, you let them know, you give them the hypothetical situation, and you say something along the lines of like, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do this. We just did something just like this, a month ago, but I'm not sure if your property qualifies for this thing just yet. I have to talk to my team. And that's when you set the expectations. So number 7 is setting the expectations, and you're letting them know what comes next. Hey, I'm going to go talk to my team, and I'm going to figure out if that hypothetical solution that I gave you is an actual solution that we can do. If it is, are you ready to move forward? They say yes. Okay, great. Number 8 is when you come in and you negotiate and you close. Okay. This is the difference maker. 1 through 7 is kind of easy. I ain't going to hold you. 1 through 7 ain't that hard. All you're doing here is you're pillow talking. You're pillow talking, you're figuring out the situation, you're coming up with some solutions, you're hanging out, right? You know what I'm saying? You're not sweating just yet. And I never sweat. However, before I knew how to do this, I used to sweat in the close. But then I learned how to close. Okay. So 1 through 7, you're essentially selling. This is where you're selling. You're pillow talking right here. That's it. You're just going over some fluff. But then, do you want to be the badass that gets the girl to go on a date with you? Then you got to be able to close. You can do all the pillow talking you want, but are you closing? Are you getting the girl to go on a freaking date with you or no? Okay, that's closing. So here's the difference. Selling, like I said, is going over all the situation. That's all you're doing. You're not getting them to sign the piece of paper. But then what happens is, right? You negotiate, you close, you come in with a low offer, then all of a sudden you guys come to terms on something, but now you have to close. Okay. Here's the difference. Here's the biggest thing I do for closing. I assume that they are all set with everything. Okay. Why do I assume? Because I went over it already. I already know. They already told me what number they need, who's helping them making the decision, what's going to justify them making a decision. They already said that, hey, yeah, your solution would make sense for me. And once I negotiate the number and they say, I do this again, by the way, I go back to the fulfillment after I negotiate. I'm always going back and filling this bucket up, making sure that they say yes to it. And once they say yes, I just assume. That's the difference. I assume. I'm going to say, okay, great. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you over an email, and then I'm going to walk them through the whole entire thing. But I'm going to assume, and I'm going to be calm. Okay. So this is after, once I negotiate, and they say, yeah, I'll do the deal at $50,000. Okay, great. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you over an email. Wait like five minutes. I'm gonna put you on hold. Then I'm gonna shoot that email over, and I'm gonna go over everything. And I'm going over everything with you, calm, cool, and collective. So I assume I'm calm, and I'm also in control. I'm telling them what to do next. Because at this point, they trust me. They said, hey, yeah, I would do the deal at $50,000. Okay, cool. But now we got to close. And now as I'm closing, I'm just assuming things. Okay, looks like everything's good on this page. Hit that button. Looks like everything's good on this page. Hit that button. Now, what did I just tell you before? While I'm in this, right? While I'm in this, Step number 8, sometimes some objections come up. Okay. Most of the time, when an objection comes up, it means that I did a poor job of figuring some of this stuff out, number 1 through 6. Okay. But if an objection comes out while I'm in this step number 8, what do? I go back to step number 6. I come up with a hypothetical solution and I solve their problem, get them to say yes, and I move forward. That's it. Very, very simple. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. Okay. I'm in a store the other day with my girlfriend, and she's trying on this hat. Very expensive hat, cool hat. She loves the hat. She's been looking at this freaking hat for like 2 months online. Salespeople come up. Dude, they obviously didn't look at Mike Gomes' 8-step sales process. I'll tell you that, because they barely did 1 through 6. They didn't do any of that. She pretty much did that for herself. Like, she got in there and she sold herself on the freaking hat, right? But then here's what happened. She was getting ready to close the deal, and an objection came up. The salesperson actually created this freaking objection by herself. It was the salesperson that did it. The salesperson said, "Hey, do you ever wear your hair a certain way?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." And the salesperson's like, "Oh, dang. Well, the hat probably won't fit when your hair is that certain way." And my girlfriend's like, "Man, yeah, I didn't think of that. You're right. Damn, what am I gonna do?" Now she's in the mirror for like 10 minutes looking back and forth. Should I buy the hat? Should I not buy the hat? Okay. And the salesperson is just sitting there, don't know what the heck they're doing, creating objections for themselves, just super screwed. Okay. So what did I have to do? I'm like, you know what? I know she really wants the hat. It's my obligation to get her to be sold on this hat. She wants to buy this hat. I got to get her to, close the deal. So I went in step number 6 for them. I went to the fulfillment. Okay. And what the fulfillment was a hypothetical solution to the problem. I said, "Hey, when are you going to wear the hat?" She said, "I don't know, maybe once or twice a month." I'm like, "Hey, well, what if you just wore the hat when your hair's the way that it fits with the hat?" And she's like, that makes sense. Yeah, why don't I just do that? I said, "Okay, so look, hold on. In that situation, I fulfilled the situation. Hypothetical situation, solution came out. Hypothetical solution I brought up to the table, not the freaking salespeople, but I brought a hypothetical solution to the table. And then I came in and I closed her as well. Once she said, yeah, that makes sense. I said, "Okay, great. Let's go to the counter. I'll take out my card." Okay. Okay, great. Let's go to the counter. That's the close. Okay. That's taking control of the situation, because she could have just stayed. If I just stayed like that, right? If I just said, "Hey, yeah, what if you just ended up buying just wearing the hat when it made sense for your hair?" Okay. She would have been like, "Yeah, that makes sense." And then she would have kept looking in the mirror and she would have had doubts and she would have been like, "I don't really know. I don't really know." Okay. And she probably wouldn't have went to the counter. Instead, I said, "Yeah, okay, great. Well, let's do the deal. Let's go to the counter. Let's get the hat." She's like, "All right, cool." While I was doing that, I assumed that the hypothetical situation that I just came up with was okay with her. And she was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do the deal." I was super calm. I wasn't like, what if you just wear it when you have your hair a certain way?" She'd have been like, "Mike, bro, calm down, dog." That's irresponsible as a salesman. Once you start getting like super energetical and excited or like nervous about the deal, it's super irresponsible. Imagine going out and buying a car and the person that you're buying the car from gets super excited and like nervous about the deal. It's going to make you nervous about the deal. It's not. Imagine if you really wanted this car. You've been looking at this car for 2 freaking years, your dream car, and all of a sudden the salesperson gets super excited and super nervous about the deal as you're about to sign the papers. You'd be like, "Dang, am I really getting the right car?" The salesperson isn't creating the right environment in that specific example. Okay, it's your job to be super calm, cool, and collective and give the prospect the best user experience possible. And then, since you're a professional, you're in control. Tom Brady of the New England Patriots, well, not the New England Patriots no more, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Okay, he's in control. He lets his offense know he's the driver. He lets his offense know, hey, this is the play that we're running. You run that way, you block that way. I'm gonna throw it this way. Okay, we're doing this. This is what we're doing. You're in control. In my situation where I was talking about the hat, I was in control. I said, hey, yeah, let's go to the counter. Let's go to the counter. I'll get my wallet out. Take control. You want to take control. And that's what causes you to close the deal. So a closer takes freaking control. That's the difference. You're in control while you're selling, right? Like while you're doing the step 1 through 7, you're in control. I'm always driving the conversation and making the conversation go the way I want to go. But once you close, you're taking control. You're like, yes, this is what we're doing. That's when you switch the gear a little bit. You switch the gear and you're like, oh, no. This is what we're doing. I'm not just going to steer the conversation now. I'm not just going to steer it. I'm going to make sure that we're going in that specific direction. We're going. I'm going to hold your hand till we go there. Okay. That's the difference between selling and closing. So one of the biggest things I want y'all to get from this is when you get to the close, there are objections that are going to come up. And when they come up, you bring them back to step number 6 and you come up with a hypothetical solution to their problem, solve their problem, and you move back into the close. That's it. That's how easy this can be. I hope this brought y'all some value. Everybody have a great freaking weekend. I appreciate y'all. Let's go.